Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, it's about 12:28 p.m. on this Sunday, July 21st. I am 4 days, or 4.5, depending on how you look at it, from turning the big 4-0. Basically, I'm in the last days of the 30 age range, if you will, the 30s age range. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about BronyCon. And of course, as you can see, just to make sure, I'm wearing something that I got last year during San Diego Comic Con. I didn't go to Comic Con last year like I didn't go this year, due to the fact that, of course, it's expensive to go. But I had the money at the time that I read online. That's SDCC, San Diego Comic Con, was, along with Hasbro, was in conjunction with Amazon to promote these retro 80s style designs of the main 6, or the main 7, if you will. So I decided to get all of the t-shirts that were available that represented that, all individual, all different. Like here you have the main group, and then there are some. I actually did a video on this. I can provide a link down below if I can find it, find the video. But basically they have individual t-shirts of, each character. Like, they have one with this Twilight, just one with Applejack, Rarity, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, Pinky, and Spike also has one. And then they have like little group ones, like you have Spike with Rarity and Twilight, you have Spike with Applejack and Twilight, you have Spike with Rainbow Dash and Twilight, you have Pinky and Twilight together. So that kind of stuff, which is really cool. So I thought I'd just wear this real quickly. As you can see, I'm wearing a t-shirt underneath so I don't get, across the body or anything, but I may have to rewash this anyway. Maybe. I don't think it's that bad. I haven't washed my work vest in a while, so it's not too bad. So I don't think I'll have to rewash it or anything. But unless I get it dirty. But anyway, getting back on topic here, because I know I'm about 2 minutes and 36 seconds in. But I wanted to talk about BronyCon. Now, last year I talked about the fact that this year was going to be the last year of BronyCon. BronyCon, of course, started, I think, around 2012, originally in the New York/New Jersey area, and then it got moved about a couple of years later to Baltimore, where it's been ever since. But this one is the very last one. Now, one of the reasons, because there are people asking why this is the last one, one of the reasons that I've heard and that it's been cited is the fact that they don't have, they don't have the, and just pushing the chair up a little bit, but they don't have the finances to continue, continuing to fund BronyCon the way they would want, because financially a lot goes into a convention like this, which is considered basically, as far as any kind of fandom is concerned, is considered like the Super Bowl of that fandom's conventions. Like, this is the be-all, end-all of conventions, as far as the fandom is concerned. So basically, it takes a lot of money to not just reserve the place, in other words, this being the Baltimore Convention Center, but also it takes a lot of money to bring it to fly, to pay, or it takes basically a lot of finances to reserve the hotel or reserve the rooms that are needed for the people that are going to be attending as community guests, guests of honor, vendors, you name it. So all that has to be taken into account. And then on top of that, you also gotta not just reserve those rooms for those community guests, guest of honors, and vendors and all that. But you also have to have the money to, most times, if you want, let's say, a guest of honor, like let's say a member of the show staff, like say a creative member or a voice actor or actress, you have to sometimes, to show that you want them there, that you're willing to, that you want them there, especially if let's say this is a special occasion, or this is a special edition, if you will. In other words, basically a finale or an anniversary, whatever you want to call it. If you really want someone to be there, basically you are willing to shell out the money to buy their plane ticket round trip from wherever they live, to go from that airport, or the closest airport to them, to fly out to Baltimore and then stay for whatever amount of days you need them to stay. Sometimes you just need them for about 2 days, so you pay for a 2-day round trip ticket, and you pay for a 2-day room reservation and stuff like that, because they're going to be part of a panel and they're going to talk about their experiences and all that. So a lot of things financially go into putting a convention on. And again, BronyCon is looked at, even though I've never attended, but from what I've heard through various sources, online, through places like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you name it, basically BronyCon is probably the most expensive, besides BabsCon, which is right here in the Bay Area, and that takes place every around April and May, I believe. Basically, besides BabsCon, it is probably the most expensive MLP convention going. And it's been going just a little bit longer than BabsCon, as far as I know. So I think about by a year or two. So yeah, to keep it going is going to take a lot of money, especially, with the fact that the show is coming to an end. And my personal opinion, I think the people behind BronyCon just feel like there's no real necessary reasoning to keep the convention going anymore, if the show that it represents is going to end around November, early August if you live internationally, like in places of China and UK areas and all that. But basically, because the show is coming to an end, it's like, what's the point of keeping the convention going? And I understand there's a lot of people that feel that there are conventions, big ones, small ones, medium-sized ones, if you will, that still go to this very day, that are based around or came out of the love for a show, or for a show or an incarnation of a certain show or franchise that was canceled several years ago. People bring up Star Trek, the Trekkies conventions and all that, and how that's still going, and that's good. And everybody would say, well, that all started with the original Star Trek, and I'm not disagreeing with that. But here's the thing: whoever's running these major Star Trek conventions every year, especially the big one, which one that is, they probably have the money to keep it going, as long as they have to. And maybe they cut costs here and there to keep it going. And, the same could be said for BotCon. When BotCon was its own thing, before Hasbro came in and bought the rights and incorporated it into what's known as HasCon now. BotCon used to be the biggest Transformers convention in the world. And it all depended on but what kept it going was it changed various locations. And some might say that's what probably, maybe some might think that probably that's what caused BronyCon not to continue. Maybe that was reasoning for the decision to, for this 2019 to be the last year of BronyCon ever. Because of the fact that maybe they didn't decide that, hey, perhaps maybe we should move BronyCon to various places around the country and see what happens. But there was a reasoning, though, apparently, for that. The reasoning being is because various parts of the country had their own MLP conventions, big, medium, and small. You had conventions in the Midwest, around the Kansas City, around the Kansas City, St. Louis, Omaha, Oklahoma City. You had conventions down south, like in Dallas, San Antonio, Austin. You had conventions up north in places like Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio. Even in the Pacific Northwest, you had conventions like in Oregon, Washington, Montana, stuff like that. And then here in California, you had, of course, BabsCon and Equestria LA and stuff like that. Even right now as we speak, you have TrotCon going on, and I think that's in the Ohio area. I'm not really sure, but you got that going on. So you had all these various conventions around the country, and the decision maybe that was probably discussed in the past to kind of move BronyCon around and try to get it to various locations was shot down because of the fact that, if you take BronyCon out of Baltimore and let's say you take it to Florida and a place like, let's say, around the Miami area, you're basically interfering with their MLP convention. Maybe not at the same time the convention's going on, but you're basically trying to step in on their territory. The same with San Francisco, the Bay Area, or the Central Valley here in California. It's like, oh, well, let's bring BronyCon here. You'd be stepping on BabsCon territory. So that's the only reason I could guess why the decision was just to keep it in Baltimore. But again, I think that a lot of people might say that played a detriment to the decision to, to bring BronyCon to an end. Because financially, you're flying people all the way from different parts of the country, mostly like, let's say right here on the West Coast or something, all the way to the East Coast. Or you're flying people out all the way from different countries to the East Coast, and that takes money. So the main reason BronyCon, the decision from what I understand, is financially. It's financial reasons. That's really what it is. There's a lot of things that get closed down or come to an end, and when you least expect it, all due to finances. Heck, when you take a look at movies, if a movie doesn't do so well, then it just bombs at the box office. It bombs at the box office. It's going to get pulled quickly. Good examples are Gem and the Holograms when that came out. And then most recently, Dark Phoenix. They didn't do so well, so they said, nope, you're out of here. Because they were financial failures. And they were financial failures because they weren't bringing in enough money. Now, I'm not saying BronyCon was not a financial failure, but because of the fact that it took time and time and time to, gather up enough money to get this all together, financially it's very taxing on a lot of people, especially those that are running the convention. But I look at it this way. This might be the last BronyCon, but like I said before, I think somebody, I don't know why I thought this, and I said this in a video I did a couple days ago, but I think someone's going to try to come out, maybe a group of people are going to come out and try to buy the rights to BronyCon. Maybe they're going to try to continue it in their own unique way. Hey, maybe Maybe there'll be an announcement that perhaps BronyCon is going to continue, but it's going to be done more in a cheaper kind of fashion. We don't really know. We'll just have to wait and see. But again, this is also why I did the other video where I talked about the 3 suggestions. And those 3 suggestions are basically to do a couple of things, or that should be done. One, or the first 2 things I should say, is when you attend Disney Fanatics panel for the Daughter of Discord prequel series, you need to show Disney Fanatic, Del Wilsonator, and all of them a lot of appreciation, and you need to sell that venue hall out. You need to sell it out. Every seat needs to be filled up for that panel. And the same goes with TF2 analysis. That being the last TF2 analysis ever for BronyCon, because this is the last BronyCon, and the fact that they're going to possibly premiere the first couple of parts, if not the first part of a multi-part story they're working on, you need to show the love for them by selling out that venue hall and showing love and appreciation to the hard work they put in, not just to help put this fandom on the map or keep it on the map, but for also contributing in their own way. And then when Lauren Faust comes around and whatever panel she's going to be put on, what needs to be done is to have Equestria, the Land I Love, being played or sang to her as a thank you for helping make MLP Generation 4 Friendship is Magic what it is. So, that's why I did that video, because of those reasons, because of the fact that this is the last one, and that you need to show as much appreciation and love for what this show has become, and that's the pop culture phenomenon that it is, but also show the love and stuff, show the love, the overwhelming respect and love to those that help make it what it is today. But again, the reason BronyCon is coming to an end, for anybody that's wondering, is due to financial reasonings, from what I understand. Because it takes money to put this all together, and financially, again, my guess and opinion is they just feel that financially it's not worth keeping alive or keeping going if the show's coming to an end. Because, to rent the convention center or rent certain parts of that convention center, reserve those rooms and stuff, takes a lot of time and money. So in the end, I say this: for those attending, have a good time, make the best of it. It's a 4-day event. I wish I could go. I wish I could be there, but I gotta work, and financially, I don't have the money to go anyway. But maybe someone might live stream the event, and we can be part of some of the panels in that way. So, again, I wish you all that are attending the best of luck there. Have fun. May God watch over you and protect you. And take care, guys. And that's all I'm gonna say. But again, the reasoning, from what I understand, is due to finances. Let me know what you think down below.